चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालयै कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय भक्ताय नमो नमः। देहं श्रीगुरुवरं श्रीरूपानं प्रभुं रजरससिकं च नारायणं तं प्रपन्नं श्रीगुरुचरणं वन्दे नमस्ताय भूतले भक्तिदं च भक्ति नारायणम्। ॐ विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियमने श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण इति नामिने श्री कृष्ण लीला कथने परम वरेण्यं पुरुषं मां तं नारायणं तं श्रीसानमामि। हरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौरभक्तवृंद जय रूप सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। First of all, I offer my just and pronouns that those feet of our spiritual masters. Tlai Shivam Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Sai Maharaj Gurudev. Tlai Shivam Bhaktivedanta Shri Bhanga Sai Maharaj Gurudev. Darupana Gauri Bhavarga, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present. So continuing with our reading of Sri Bhakti-tattva-viveka. So until yesterday we were listening about this Chaya Bhakti Abhas and Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas. So Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas is the reflection and Chaya Bhakti Abhas is the shadow. So Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas is a little separate from the original object. But Chaya Bhakti Abhas is dependent entirely on the original object. So therefore here it is said that Chaya Bhakti Abhas is more nearer to pure Bhakti than Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas. But still, one must not think that Chaya Bhakti Abhas and Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas, one should be content just with these. No, one should think about practicing Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti. No, one should not think that okay, I'll only be happy practicing this semblance of devotion. One should try moving forward. No, they are only the secondary tendencies of pure Bhakti, this Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas and Chaya Bhakti Abhas. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying when Bhakti reaches its pure form, it is completely free from the tendencies of Pratibimba and Chaya. So pure Bhakti is uncovered by its reflection and by the shadow itself. At that time, only the original object itself, that is pure spontaneous devotion, is manifest. At that time there is only Shuddha Bhakti. So then what is Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas? It is of three categories. Nirvishesh Gyan Avrit Bhakti Abhas, Bahirmukh Karma Avrit Bhakti Abhas, and Viparit Vastu Bhakti Buddhi Janit Bhakti Abhas. So three kinds of Pratibimba Bhakti Abhas. One is covered by impersonal knowledge, one by Bahirmukh Karma, means Vikarma, means those kinds of fruitive activities which are very detrimental for pure devotion. Those kinds of karma. And the other is Viparit Vastu Bhakti Buddhi Janit Bhakti Abhas, means you're thinking that you're practicing thinking it is bhakti, but it is not really bhakti. It is viparit. It is opposite to bhakti. So in Nirvishesh Jnanavrit Bhakti Avas, bhakti remains hidden by covering of impersonal knowledge. At that time, there is a curtain of impersonal knowledge between the sadhak and Swarup-siddha bhakti, making direct realization of bhakti impossible. So this we have heard. There are all kinds of liberations, Sahaja Mukti, becoming one with Krishna. This is very harmful. And this is like hellish for the devotee. And even amongst these two kinds of liberation, one is to become one with the impersonal effulgence, and the other is to become one with Paramatma himself. And the second one is even more dangerous. At least in the first one, he has some chance of associating with pure devotees and of advancing. But here in the second case, his very Swarup is like gone. It is like lost forever. The second kind of liberation is very dangerous. So therefore here, the conception of impersonal knowledge is that within Chit Tattva, names, forms, qualities, pastimes, they do not exist. So this, like, we've been hearing yesterday evening, you were listening. The Brahmavadis, they always feel that if you limit Bhagavan by a name, if you limit him by certain activities, then how is he Bhagavan? They say, how can that limitless one have a name? No, they say if he is like infinite, and in one way what they're saying is also like true. They're saying, how can you limit that personality by his name, qualities, pastimes? No, then he'll just be like an ordinary person or a very extraordinary personality. But no, the difference is that the names, forms, qualities, they are non-different from that person. They are one with him, and they're transcendental in all ways. So according to this philosophy, these attributes, they exist only in material objects. And when the jiva becomes liberated from material existence, he merges into undifferentiated Brahman. Wherever such impersonal knowledge exists, unalloyed devotion cannot manifest there. No. So like Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying, Bhakti Devi, the first stage of Bhakti is Shraddha. And Shraddha is like a little baby girl. The parent, the father has to look after this baby girl or the mother with so much care and attention. Or else the baby girl might be injured. So here similarly, Bhakti is very delicate. She's like a flower. And this impersonal Brahma is like something that burns the very flower. It's very dangerous, this impersonal liberation. It's like a tiger, it can swallow you. Therefore Gurudev would say that if you see any impersonalist, any Mayavadi, then from far you must offer him pranams, saying, Prabhu, kindly, from far you offer Dandavat pranams and you leave, or else this association can be very dangerous. Mayavad is like very dangerous philosophy. One with Brahma. Who will not want to be one with Brahma? Everyone wants to be one with Brahma. But at the same time, you see, even Mayavadis, even they get so much mercy from devotees. Like we heard that story that once there was one Mayavadi, he was in the Govindadev temple and he started singing many kirtans in front of Govindadev. And as soon as he started singing, then the garland from Govindadev fell. And the pujari took that garland and pulled on that Mayavadi. So how is a Mayavadi known? He is known by his Ekadanda Sannyas. And he is a Tripundradhari. He has this three kinds of lines. He says, Alak Niranjan, Ham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. So Rupa Goswami was thinking, how is this possible? That he is a Mayavadi and still Govindadev has given him so much mercy. So then Rupa Goswami, as he was thinking about this, then Govindadev appeared to him in a dream. And he said, although he is an impersonalist, although he is a Mayavadi, still he did kirtan. And because he did kirtan, I am so happy with him. So you see here, even his kirtan, who knows it was bona fide or not. But still, Govindadev says, I like anyone who does my kirtan, regardless of whoever he is. So I blessed him. So see, such kind of people, they have a chance. Maybe in this life they will change, or in the next life they will change. Like once there was one person, again another Mayavadi, he entered into Mayapur, Chaitanya Math. So when he entered inside the temple, then like all the brahmacharis, the devotees, they neglected him. Because Prabhupada was very strict in cutting the jungles of Mayavad. He made sure that Mayavad would not exist. Because he would say, if you want to plant the seed of pure devotion, then the land would have to be very fertile. all these weeds, all these other creepers, trees, they should be removed. Unless you remove this Mayavad, how can you plant the seed of pure devotional service? So then this way they neglected this person. This Mayavadi, he had darshan of Chaitanya Mat, and then he just left. No one even bothered to receive him, nothing. Because even he was in saffron cloth. No, he was also like Mayavadis, they wear this cloth which is like very red. It's not like our saffron, but theirs is like very red color. So he was also in that cloth, so then he just left. Then when Prabhupada found out that he had come and he had just left, then immediately he came down from his bhajan kutir. Chaitanya Mat, Prabhupada's bhajan kutir is on the first floor. As soon as you enter inside, you can have darshan. It's called Bhaktivedanta. One devotee called Sati Charan Das Babaji Maharaj, he built this place for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada had previously given him this title, Bhakti Vijay. So he was so pleased with his services because he had built the entire birthplace of Mahaprabhu that he named his bhajan kutir after him. He said, this is Bhakti Vijay. This is named after me, he said. So when Prabhupada heard, immediately he came down. And then he caught the Mayavadi by his hand. And he said, oh, please forgive me if I've offended you in any way. If I've slighted you, please forgive me. And he took that Mayavadi back inside the temple. Then he had him sit right next to him. And then he had him like honor Mahaprasad. So such people, you see, they have chances. Because there are certain people who are not as offensive. Although they may be like Mayavadis, still they may have heard certain things. Therefore they became like that. Like, so many stories, like even one Mayavadi was in this Govindadev temple and he was doing parikrama. There, one sannyas disciple of Prabhupada, his name was Bhakti Prakash Aranya Maharaj. So he saw this Mayavadi and he heavily started chastising him, saying, how dare you speak to others and say Namo Narayan. No, every Mayavadi sannyasi looks at each other and he says Namo Narayan. Means, oh Narayan, I offer pranams to you. And he also says the same thing. Oh Narayan, I offer my pranams to you. No, like yesterday we heard in class in the evening, Daridra Narayan. They say like this is like poor Narayan, they say. So we should serve this Narayan as well. Like they have many such things. They say Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. Jan Seva is Janardhan Seva. Nar Seva is Narayan Seva. They're trying to make everything equal. So then Aranya Maharaj chastised him. And he said, you don't have any sense. No, you're addressing each other like this. How can you think you're God? Chastised him. And this person, on being chastised, he just didn't he didn't feel offended or he didn't leave. In fact, he even came to the temple after that. Because Aranya Maharaj was staying in this Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat. No, you can see Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat is not very far from going to the temple. So you can get 15 minutes. Very beautiful Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat. If you go inside, you can see temple was built in 1960, I think. By one disciple of Madhav Maharaj. His name was Bijli Pailwan. This Bijli Pailwan was very notorious in Chandigarh. He would beat people up. He would a very notorious person. But when Madhav Maharaj started preaching to him, he became such a great Vaishnava that he financed the entire construction of this Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat in Vrindavan. Very nice temple. If you go inside, you can see. You'll see Madhav Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi and Bhaktivedanta Maharaj's Bhajan Kutir. If you go inside, you can see Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi. And inside his Bhajan Kutir, you can see there are many nice pictures. In one of those pictures, you'll see Gurudev is also there. In Gokul, some Brajavasis, they wanted to give some land to Gurudev to build a temple there. Gurudev said, no, you give to my Siksha Guru, Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj. So then Gurudev, he told those Brajavasis, very elderly husband and wife, very old. So they gave that piece of land to Madhav Maharaj. So then in that picture you can see Madhav Maharaj and Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, Nayanananda, Babaji Maharaj, these three call brothers. They're performing the installation ceremony of the deities of Radha and Krishna. They're doing Abhishek and they're doing the installation. And Gurudev is sitting behind and he's doing Kirtan. Very nice picture. In all the temples of Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat, they have that picture. I've seen. So if you go there, this temple was built by him, by this Bijli Pailwan. In that Gokul temple, then after some time, what happened was, the Brajavasis, they tried taking that temple by force. Then after Madhav Maharaj left, they even broke the deities there. They did many things. They broke the deities and they wanted to take that land by force. So then Pujat Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he requested Gurudev to come here. Because Gurudev was staying in Mathura most of the time. So he had a very good relationship with the Rajavasis. So then Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he requested. Then Gurudev came, then he told all the Rajavasis, don't do this. We're sadhus. How can you behave in this way? Just because you're sadhus, you're trying to attack us. Don't do like this. He warned them. And he said, I have many people in the police force. If you do something like this again, then the police will have to take action. And Gurudev also told Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, and Maharaj used to also time to time, have like a very good relationship with all the Rajavasis. And then again the deities were reinstalled after that. So the original deities were broken. So then they again had to reinstall a new set. It is always happening in Kali Yuga. Like even in New Vrindavan, once I heard some biker gang, they came and broke the deities, something like that happened. They pushed the deities over, something like that. So many things, because Kali Yuga, like you see in Mumbai, there is this Jew temple. So there's a very famous history about this Jew temple. This Jew ISKCON previously was given by one person called Mr. Nair. He gave it to Prabhupada. But then after some time, this person was very greedy. So then some other people, he basically gave that land for 8 or 10 lakhs to Prabhupada at that time. And then there was another person, he said, I want to build a hotel here. So I'll give it 20, 30 lakhs. He said, I'll give it 2, 3 times more. Then already he had given that land to Prabhupada, but still he tried making Prabhupada leave from that place. He brought gundas in the middle of the night. They beat up the devotees. And again they did the same thing. They tried breaking the deities. And anyhow the devotees, they hid the deities somewhere. Radha Das Bihari. Very beautiful deities. They hid the deities somewhere. They made sure the gundas could not touch the deities. Then Prabhupada, he told his disciples, once Radha and Krishna moved inside that place, no one can force them to leave. That is their place now. He can do whatever he wants, he can bring as many gundas as he wants. Even the police was on his side. It's Mr. Nair. Even the police was on his side, everyone was on his side. But still Prabhupada said, stand your ground. Don't move away from that place. Then finally, anyhow, the devotees had built a temporary structure and they came and they broke the structure. And then the court passed a judgment. They said, by morning, if you can build a temple here, then the land is yours. They told Prabhupada. So the disciples think it is impossible to build a temple overnight. How is it possible? Overnight, how can you build a structure? So then Prabhupada said, anyhow. So then there was one person called Mr. Sethi. This Mr. Sethi, he was like an architect. So then Prabhupada requested this person, I need a temple overnight, or else these gundas will take the land away. So then this Mr. Sethi, then he came with all the laborers, 100 people. And then overnight they built the entire temple. And then all these gundas, they wanted to attack again in the night. So then a big group of gundas again came. Then Mr. Sethi and his son, they had 2 guns. The whole night they were with their guns standing this way. The whole night. But they're pointing their guns at these gundas, saying, if you come, then we'll show you. Then any of the devotees built the temple. The laborers, they built it overnight. Then in the morning, the judge, he passed in favor of ISKCON. He said, this temple is yours, you cannot disturb it anyway. So this Mr. Sethi, actually he had cancer. He was supposed to die. So then when he was supposed to die, then Prabhupada went to see him once. Prabhupada had given him his own quarters. The devotees had built a very nice, 3 rooms for Prabhupada, one flat, one quarters. So then Mr. Sethi, when he came to see Prabhupada, then Prabhupada, he told Mr. Sethi that I am sannyasi, why I need this place? You are a grihastha. You have wife, you have children, so you can come and stay here. So he had given him his own rooms to stay. So then this Mr. Sethi, he had cancer. So then when he was lying down, then Prabhupada went to see him. Then he said, oh Prabhupada, please forgive me that I couldn't finish building the temple. No, I am going to leave, I am going to die. Even the doctor, he said, no chance for me to live. Then Prabhupada personally went to him, he put his hand on his head and he said, no, Krishna has given you the service to finish building this temple. And only after you finish building this temple, then Prabhupada also blessed him that if you build this temple for me in Mumbai, then I'll build a temple for you in Golok Vrindavan. He had said, in Golok Vrindavan, I'll build you a very nice house. Prabhupada blessed him. So then Mr. Sethi was saying, he was weeping, no, I cannot, forgive me, I cannot build this temple. Everyone was weeping, all his disciples. Prabhupada said, no, now is not the time, and he blessed him. So then, after 1 or 2 days, Mr. Sethi started becoming healthier. He started becoming very healthy. Then, he went to see the doctor, and then he said, I don't feel so sick now. I feel very healthy. Then the doctor, he performed tests on him. And when the doctor performed tests on him, then the doctor said, actually now you're no longer sick. You don't even have that cancer anymore. Then Mr. Sethi was amazed. How is this possible? He was astonished that I don't have cancer anymore. Then he went and told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told him, I told you now is not your time. And the same doctor who had diagnosed Mr. Sethi, he was a Muslim. He was a Muslim. So then this same Muslim person, he came and he fell at the feet of Prabhupada and he said, you're like a Zinda Peer. Peer means in Islam a saint. You're a living saint, he said. And he touched Prabhupada's feet. And he went. This very beautiful temple about Radha Ras Bihari. Very nice history about it. So many obstacles the devotees had to face. Still anyhow they salvaged that place. There's a nice book about it also. Giri Swami, the disciple Swami Maharaj, has written a nice book called Build Your Temple. The book is called. If you read that book, you can get it there in Ras Bihari. I saw it there. If you read that book, you can read the entire Jew temple history, how it was built. So this we see, they're always trying to do something. They're trying to break the deities, they're trying to do this, that. So here, as I was saying in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, then Gurudev spoke to Bhaktivedanta Maharaj and he organized a nice meeting with all the Brajavasis. Told them, don't do this. Like I've told this before also, in Vinodvani Gaudiya Math also, that is also Bhaktivedanta Maharaj's temple. There also they did so many atrocities. They broke the compound wall, they beat up the brahmacharis very badly, bleeding so much. There was one brahmachari, they tore all his clothes open, Then again they requested Gurudev to come. So then Gurudev, he brought one big police officer from Mathura. And he told all the Brajavasis, you do such nonsense again, then this police officer, he said, the entire police force of Mathura will be here, he said. He warned the Brajavasis. So Gurudev, he helped so many of his godbrothers, so many of his family members, everyone. So then in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, this Mayavadi, he came there. And then when he came there, then Aranya Maharaj, his heart melted. Saying, oh, he heavily chastised him. It was like heavy chastisement, but still he didn't say anything. He humbly accepted the chastisement. And when he came there, then Aranya Maharaj himself told him, oh, now you leave this Mayavad dress. Now you dress yourself like a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Then he personally gave him a dhoti, kurta. And he dressed himself and then he started serving in the temple there. So they say if Mayavadis are not really very offensive, if they can accept this, then eventually they also become purified. They don't remain that way always. So here, but still, one must be very careful. Because in an immature stage, if one tries reaching out to them, then he may become one of them. Now, like if you see in this place, what is it? Raman Reti. If you go to Raman Reti near Gokul, you will see that ashram, that big ashram. All of you have been there. Very nice place now. There's such nice sand there. Big kunda there, Raman Kunda. But actually, that place is run by Brahmavadi. This Raman Reti. I think, I don't know his name, but he runs the entire place. So there, they're giving Mahaprasad also every day. Every day they're distributing, every day in the afternoon they're giving chapatis, sabji. So many people come and take there, hundreds of people. It's a very famous place in Braj. All of you have been there, during Parikrama, that place. So then once Prabhuji, he took some devotees there for darshan to this place in Ramanriti. So then all these people who went with him, they took lunch there. So then when Gurudev, he asked these devotees, oh, you must be hungry whole day, you have not eaten anything. So then they said, no, Maharaj, we ate in that place, in Ramanriti. Then Gurudev, he didn't say anything to them. He He said, all right, he just remained. Then as soon as they left, then he called. He said, oh, did you eat with them also? And he said, never, I didn't eat with them. Only they ate, but I didn't touch anything. Gurudev said, yes, good. If you even touch what they give you, then even their consciousness will enter inside you, then you also become like them, he said. No. Because Mayavadis, when they're cooking, with what mood are they cooking? Are they really offering to Radha and Krishna? Maybe something, but not entirely. No. So this way, even like anything, even their association, all that things, like, you must be very careful. So whenever such impersonal knowledge is present, unalloyed devotion cannot manifest there. So Krishna Nushilan, the cultivation of devotion on Sri Krishna is called Shuddha Bhakti. But the activities of bhakti are not possible in impersonal liberation. Now how can you do bhakti when you think Krishna is impersonal, I am impersonal, bhakti is impersonal, everything is impersonal. How can you do? Because in bhakti there are three stages. One is bhakti itself, the process of devotional service, and one is bhakta, the devotee, and one is Bhagavan, Krishna himself. So there are three personalities here. And you negate all those three personalities, you say everything is one, how can you do any bhakti? So if someone believes that when the perfectional stage of liberation is achieved, bhakti no longer exists due to the destruction of the mind, body and false ego, but they simultaneously continue to follow this process of bhakti to achieve such perfection, then how can their devotion to Krishna be called eternal and free from deceit? Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that the very form of bhakti is full of deceit. Because he's saying they don't even believe in the eternality of bhakti in the first place. They are only doing bhakti for which reason? Just so they can become one with Krishna. Like yesterday evening also, Prabhuji for 1 hour he was speaking about the Panchopasaks. He was saying that why do they worship these 5 forms? Why do they do Panchopasana? Because they say that we cannot meditate on the impersonal Brahman at our presence. But then now, anyhow, we can imagine a form of this and then we can meditate. And then when we become more perfect, then throw that form aside. There's no need for that form anymore. So here similarly they are doing the same thing. They are practicing bhakti, but with what intention? The same intention. They'll become one, and once you become one, then bhakti is no longer helpful. So bhakti is like a commodity then. Just something they can use and then throw away. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying if one has such a mood, which is like very deceitful, hypocritical, then how can he achieve pure bhakti? So such a person tries to please Krishna for the time being, and in the end attempts to extinguish Krishna's existence. In precisely the same way the demon Vrikasur pleased Lord Shiva with his worship, and after obtaining a boon from Shiva that he could kill anyone by merely placing his hand on their head, he tried to kill Shiva himself. Like Vrikasur, what did he do? He's also called Bhasmasur. He would cut his hands, he would cut different parts of his body and he would offer inside the fire. Cut like a finger and then he would offer inside the fire. And Shiva is very easily pleased and Shiva immediately appeared. Then he said, what do you want? Then Vrikasur, he looked at Parvati and he was very much enchanted by her beauty. They're demons, they're always like that. They don't leave even like Bhagwan or his devotees. So he was very much enchanted and then he wanted to enjoy her. So then he looked at Shiva and he said, oh, give me the blessing that anyone's head who I place my hand on, that person will be burned to ashes. And Lord Shiva was very innocent and he said, all right. And then he said, now I want to test. Then he wanted to put his hand on Lord Shiva. And Shiva said, what are you trying to do? Then he started running behind Lord Shiva and Shiva had to leave from that place. And then Shiva, he took shelter of Vishnu, Bhagavan. So here there are 2 stories actually. In one part of the story, Bhagavan, he appears as a brahmachari. In one part of the story. And then as a brahmachari, then Vrikasur, he asks him, oh, did you see Shiva running this way? Then he said, yes. Then he said, why are you running behind him? Because I want to place my hand on his head. And he said, oh, Shivji, he is very innocent. His boon has no value. Then he said, you put your hand on your own head and you see for yourself. You will see nothing will happen. So the person, he put his hand on his own head and he was burned to ashes. That was one side of the story. But in another Leela, it is said that Vishnu appeared as Mohini. He appeared as Mohini. So then when this demon saw Mohini avatar, then he became very enchanted. So then Mohini started dancing. Then he also started dancing. So Mohini would do like this and the demon would do like this. this, this and that. And Mohini put her hand on his head, and he also put his foot on his head. So in South India, this history is more famous. They even made a movie about it, about this Mohini and Picasso. But here, like most of the time, the history we hear from the Guru Varga is that he appeared as Brahmachari. But also, this is also bona fide. I've heard the Guru Varga also said this history is also bona fide, that he appeared as Mohini. So Picasso, you see here, he wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to be like Shiva. Similarly, here also they are like that. And they want to be like Krishna. So the devotion of such person is deceitful and temporary due to his ignorance of the intrinsic nature of Nitya Shuddha Bhakti. Rupa Goswami has described the characteristics of such devotion. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is quoting from Bhakti Samrata Sindhu. So by observing the symptoms of shedding tears and trembling in persons who desire material enjoyment and liberation, it may seem that they have developed bhav. But only foolish people who are easily influenced by a show of external symptoms, they will consider such so-called rati genuine. So some people, they have so many desires for material enjoyment in their heart. Like karma, they want to be one. And they'll also start weeping whenever kirtan is going on. They'll start weeping and they start rolling on the ground. But here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying only foolish people will be attracted by such things. Like during Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj's time, there was one devotee living in Navadvip. So then he had a dream, he started telling everyone, I had a dream last night, that Mahaprabhu appeared to me in a dream, and he said, my birthplace is not in Mayapur, my birthplace is in Navadvip, he said. So then this devotee, he like installed a deity of Gaur Gopal in that place. And then he said, this is Mahaprabhu's birthplace. And there he would call everyone, and everyone would start weeping, they would start rolling on the ground, take the dust of each other's feet, put it on their heads. So then Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he went to Gaurikshore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he said, oh Maharaj, like, because Gaurikshore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was a Siksha Guru, Vamsidas Babaji. So he said, oh Maharaj, these people you see, they're weeping, they're showing so many symptoms of bhav, and they're saying this is Mahaprabhu's birthplace, not Mayapur. So then Gaurikshore Das Babaji Maharaj said, first, who is Bhaktivinoda Thakur? He's a Mahapurush. He manifested the birthplace of Mahaprabhu in Mayapur. Because Gaurikshore Das Babaji Maharaj would personally go and listen to Harikatha from Bhaktivinoda Thakur at Sarananda Sukata Kunj. Even now you can see his Bhajan Kutir. If you go to Kodrum, if you go see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's place, you can see right beside Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Kutir is the Bhajan Kutir of Gaurikshore Das Babaji Maharaj. Because he would also do Bhajan. And secondly, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he confirmed that this place is the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. So how can this person who had this dream basically refute what these two Mahapurushas have said? And this is like an offense actually in one way. He's saying what they're saying is not true, what he's saying is true. But then Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj said, but Maharaj, all of them, they're like showing so many symptoms of bhav, this, that. He said all the symptoms are false. He said only innocent and foolish people, they'll be misguided by such exhibition of bhavs. So then Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, what did he do? That time this person, he had built a fence around this so-called birthplace of Mahaprabhu. He had built a fence. Then Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he had like a sickle, like a big knife. He broke open that fence, threw all the wood away, covering that place. He said, this place, how can it be? And then he started shouting like a lion. Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, the birthplace of Mahaprabhu is there. Mayapur, not here. So these people, they're always doing such things. They're always trying to show symptoms of bhav, trying to misguide people. Because people, they're very easily cheated now. They're very easily cheated. But bhakti is not so cheap. You see the pure devotees, they're always trying to conceal their emotions. They'll never even show their emotions, even little. Like one Swami Maharaj, he was in Mayapur and he was doing kirtan. And then as he was doing kirtan, he like entered into samadhi for like 10 minutes. It was like a huge assembly of devotees, hundreds of devotees. As he was doing kirtan, then 15 minutes he just entered into samadhi. Didn't do anything. Then there was a pin drop silence there in the temple. So then no one knew what to do. Like, then one sannyasi, he started doing kirtan. Then Swami Maharaj, he resumed his kirtan again. So then the devotees, they asked him, like, Prabhupada, what happened? Then Swami Maharaj, he said, oh, I cannot tell you everything, he said. How can I tell you everything? Bhakti is not so cheap, he said. And so you see, even when they are sometimes overwhelmed by these Ashtasattvik bhavas, still they will not speak about it. Still they will conceal within themselves. They will never speak about it openly. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying the same thing, that if sometimes they're openly expressing all these symptoms, then you should check to see if they're bona fide or not. Those who are knowledgeable, they know this is Rati Abhas. They know there's only a semblance of Rati. Such a person's trembling and shedding of tears are due to two reasons. The first reason is that they are hankering for impersonal liberation, and by remembering Krishna, who alone can award such mukti, they feel great pleasure. So then they think, oh, this mukti is not so easily had, but anyhow, by worshipping Krishna, then this mukti is very easy. This pleasure is the cause of their shedding tears and trembling. It is not due to love for Krishna. The second reason is the shedding tears and trembling is the happiness derived from thinking that simply by the performance of such bhakti abhas, their inner desires for material enjoyment will be easily fulfilled. So see here, that is what there will be. They're saying, oh, meditating on this impersonal Brahman is so difficult, but just by following bhakti, I can easily have that liberation. And so because of such happiness, they're weeping. So, in this way. So once in the city of Varanasi, a renunciant was chanting the names of Hari in an assembly of sannyasis, and eventually he began trembling and tears started flowing from his eyes. While chanting the holy name, he was thinking, aha, by such a simple process I will attain liberation. So see here, Varanasi is the place where all the Mayavadi sannyasis, they stay there in Varanasi. During Mahaprabhu's time itself, you see, Prakashananda Saraswati and his more than 60,000 disciples, they were staying there, and Mahaprabhu turned all of them into Vaishnavas. Even now, if you go to Kashi, Varanasi, you will see there is a stronghold of Shankaracharya's followers. Basically, only they stay there in Kashi. But you see here, once one sannyasi there, he was weeping on the ground, rolling. Then they asked him, why are you so happy? Then he said, oh, by such a simple process like bhakti, I will attain impersonal liberation. And you see in Jaiva also, if you read the beginning of Jaiva, you'll see this sannyasi Thakur, who later became Vaishnava Das. He was also a Mayavadi there in Varanasi. And there he saw one devotee, he was chanting the Mahamantra and the Pancharatta mantra. And he was weeping so much. And he was rolling on the ground. So his symptoms of bhava were genuine. So therefore, those symptoms of bhava that he was experiencing, they also touched his heart. They were transmitted into his own heart. So then he left Varanasi in search of that devotee. Because he heard, who is this devotee? Then someone told him, oh, he's a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then he went looking everywhere for him, because he couldn't find him there in Varanasi. Then he came here looking for him. Where? In Narsingapalli, in Kothurundri. And there he had the association of all the Vaishnavas. Then eventually he became a great devotee himself. So much so that he even realized his Siddha Swarup, that he was Ramana Manjari. And what was his main seva? His main seva was that Kakati, this old monkey, would sometimes disturb Radha and Krishna in their sleep. So his main seva was to silence this monkey and to make sure that the Kunja seva of Radha and Krishna will go on very nicely. So you see here, he was a Mayavadi, but still just by seeing a Vaishnava doing Kirtan, his heart changed, so much so that he even realized his Swarup in Ashtakali Leela of Radha and Krishna. He realized, I am Ramana Manjari. See here, that is the causeless mercy of a Vaishnava. And even such a person who was in such an insignificant state, he became a Manjari eventually. So exhibiting such trembling and shedding of tears is not easy for an impersonalist, because knowledge and renunciation has made his heart very hard, and they push all the symptoms of bhakti, which is very tender by nature. So now bhakti is very delicate, and his heart has already become like stone. It becomes so dry. So how can these symptoms of bhakti manifest in his heart? Even though in the process of Shravan and Kirtan, done by the impersonalists, the disease of the desires for sense gratification and liberation, they exist. They still feel a little pleasure in their hearts from their performance of Shravan and Kirtan. So although their hearts are very dry and although they're Mayavadi, still by doing Shravan Kirtan, they also get some pleasure. Because you see, even Mayavadis, they do Kirtan also. You see, if you go to any of the temples, you see they're also doing Kirtan. they do this Mahamantra Kirtan. And when they do Mahamantra Kirtan, they don't do Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. First they chant Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, then Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They do many kinds of Kirtans. Why? They are also getting pleasure from this Kirtan. And if they're not really that offensive, actually they're getting Sukriti by such Kirtan. They're getting Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti by reciting the names of Krishna. And eventually they will also become devotees. If at such a time, by some good fortune, they obtain the association of a pure devotee of Bhagavan, then by the effect of that association, the bhav that has arisen like the moon in the sky of the hearts of pure devotees is reflected even in their hearts, which are contaminated by the impersonal conception. Like when the moon rises in the sky, the rays of the moon, they cool everyone. So similarly, the moon, that bhav which is present in the devotee's heart is like the full moon. And those rays of that moon is also transmitted into his heart. Means the rays of that prem also enters into his heart. And he will also start realizing the same devotional moods. Such an occurrence can sometimes cause a little ecstasy and shedding of tears. So Mayavadi, he can also start weeping if such bhav enters his heart. It melts his heart and he also starts weeping. And he also starts crying so much. But when again they lack the association of such devotee, then they deride the tears and trembling of their own disciples as fraud or cheating. So you see here, then when the pure devotee goes away, then if they see someone weeping and shedding tears, then they chastise that person. Hey, why you are such a sentimental person? Now, like Prakashananda Saraswati said the same thing to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was weeping and doing kirtan. Then Prakashananda Saraswati, someone told him, oh, one sannyasi from Bengal, Krishna Chaitanya, he's always weeping and dancing in ecstasy. Then when Prakashananda Saraswati heard this, he said, what is this? Does a sannyasi behave in this way? A sannyasi is only meant to read the Vedanta Sutra. He's meant to meditate on this impersonal Brahman. But here I am seeing that he is chanting, singing. It is not proper. Hence, bhakti can never appear in the heart covered by impersonal knowledge. But sometimes there is the appearance of bhakti abhas. So this is what? This is called nirvishesha gyan avrit bhakti abhas. Avrit means covered, means it is covered by nirvishesha gyan. And the second is bahirmukha karma avrit bhakti abhas. So this is bhakti covered by an external covering of fruitive activity. It is as if a curtain of fruitive activity is present between the jiva and Krishna. And what happens? This form of karma covers bhakti. Pursuing the path of mystic yoga and strictly adhering to the occupational duties corresponding to one's caste and stage of life are both classified as karma. So one you see is following varnashram dharma so much that he neglects bhakti. And what is the meaning of varnashram dharma? Varnashram acharvata yate varsishrena purushena parampuman nanyat tattosha karanam. That, what is the meaning? It is to please Vishnu. And if ultimately the mood is not to please Vishnu, then what is the use of varnashram? There is no use of it. So karma is of two types, nitya and naimitik. Nitya means those activities performed regularly, and naimitik means those performed occasionally. All actions that result in piety are considered karma. A detailed explanation of karma would enlarge in this presentation. So those who want to know more about karma may read Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrit. So Gurudev has also translated this book into Hindi. So the process of karma in the books of the Smarta Brahmins is all superficial activity. Activities such as Sandhya Vandan, prayers to be recited daily at dusk, that are suitable for the proper execution of one's varnashram duties and that are mentioned in the books of the Smartas are called Nitya Karma, daily routine activities. So they have Sandhya Vandan. Sandhya Vandan means that the 3 times of the day they chant the Brahma Gayatri at the 3 times of the day. And if they don't chant exactly at the exact time, then they don't get the fruit of this. So they have many such, they're orthodox Brahmins, they have many such considerations. The Smartas consider the performance of these activities to be bhakti. Yet, an in-depth review of these activities will reveal that they are superficial. So Smartas also say we are bhaktas, but whatever bhakti they are actually observing is all superficial. It has no substance. Because during Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, there were so many of these martyrs. It was these martyrs who attacked Prabhupada. Now, when Prabhupada was doing his parikrama, and he came to Paramatala, and when they threw all these bottles of hot water and so many things, who was the main person who incited everyone? The main group was these Martha Brahmins. They were the ones. Because they were saying, why is he initiating people from all castes? And he himself is not a Brahmin. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a Kayastha. Kayastha means like the merchant class. So he's saying, although he's born in a Kayastha family, he himself is not a Brahmin. And still he is even initiating Brahmins. And he's also initiating people from all other castes. Saying, oh, you're Vaishnavas, you're greater than Brahmins. So they attacked Prabhupada. And they did so many times. Every time they would attack him. Even during Prabhupada's time, there was one scholar called Pancharatna Nyayanam, I think his name was. So he was a very intelligent person. He had translated all the Vedas into Bengali. He had translated all the Puranas into Bengali. He's a very great scholar. It's Pancharatna Vijnana, I think his name was. So he, once in the newspaper, he published a series of articles, criticizing the Gaudiya Math. Saying, oh, where has it been mentioned in the Shastras that you do this, you do that, and so a series of articles he had written. So then Prabhupada he found out. So then Madhav Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, then he also wrote a series of articles saying, oh, he is wrong and Prabhupada is right. Because Madhav Maharaj was born in a very high class Brahmin family. So he was saying, although we are all born in Brahmin families, ultimately the Vaishnava conception is even greater. Because the quality of a Brahmin is already included within this quality of a Vaishnava. Like you see, this Pancharatriki Parampara is already included within the Bhagavad Parampara. It's already included there. Similarly, the qualities of Brahmanism are already included within Vaishnavism. So then Madhav Maharaj and this person, they had a debate. And Madhav Maharaj, he defeated him. Prabhupada was so happy with him. So many people opposed him. There was one person called Gopendu Bhattacharya. What is that? Wealth, followers, go to heaven, enjoy that. They're always desiring the fruits of karma. But for those who are practicing bhakti, what is the fruit? Bhakti. Bhakti only yields bhakti, only produces bhakti. This is their only desire, to practice bhakti more and more. My dear intimate devotees, you cannot satisfy the people engaged in gross activities by presenting before them this subtle difference between karma yoga and bhakti. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, if you speak about this difference to such people, they will become angry with you. Saying, what are you saying? Don't speak such things. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, don't speak to them in this stage. Only when their faith in karma and jnana has gone away, then you speak to them, he said. Then they will listen to you, or else they will not listen to you in this stage. They will get angry at you. Unless in possession of such faith, no one can understand the subtle difference between karma yoga and bhakti. We should understand that if someone thinks that bhakti is simply another form of karma, then he won't be able to relish bhakti in his heart. The difference between bitter and sweet can be distinguished only by tasting them, not by reasoning. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, by realization you will understand that karma is very bitter and bhakti is very sweet. By logic you can never understand, he's saying. After actually tasting them, it becomes much easier to understand and then determine which is more superior. So those inclined towards karma yoga sometimes dance, tremble, they shed tears while chanting the holy name. But all of this is only a reflection of bhakti, bhakti abhas. It is not Shuddha Bhakti. It is the result of their previous good fortune of having associated with devotees as Daivat Sarpakta Sandena. Their trembling and shedding of tears are just symptoms produced by sensual pleasure, and they are only pratibimba. As such times, they are either immersed in thoughts of heavenly pleasure or absorbed in an imaginary ocean of the pleasure derived from liberation. So this is pratibimba bhakti abhas. Like the example is given. Maharaj Harishchandra, he always spoke the truth. He always believed in Satkarma. What is Satkarma? Satkarma means pious activity. But still you see, when Vishwamitra he came to Maharaj Harishchandra, then he asked him in a dream, give me your entire kingdom. And Harishchandra said, all right, you take my entire kingdom. So then the next day Vishwamitra he came to Harishchandra and he said, oh Harishchandra, I heard you're a great Satyavadi. You always speak the truth. Now, in your dream last night, you gave your entire kingdom away to me. So then he said it was a dream. Then he said, even so, even if it was a dream, still you promised you'll give the entire kingdom to me. Now give it to me. And he said, all right, you can take the entire kingdom. Then he said, not only the entire kingdom, you'll also have to give me dakshina. Means 10,000 gold coins. So then Harishchandra, he called his treasurer. Hey, come here, give this Rishi 10,000 gold coins. Then Vishwamitra said, hey, liar. If you've given your entire kingdom to me, then how can this treasury be yours? Even this treasury means your money is also mine. So then Harishchandra said, then what should I do? Then Harishchandra, he thought of asking money from some of his subjects. And Vishwamitra again chastised him. They are also mine. Then he said, don't stay in this kingdom and ask anyone for money. If you want to go and ask for money, then you can go to Kashi, he said. Because Kashi, Varanasi, is situated on the trident, on the Trishul of Lord Shiva. Just as all the dhams of Vishnu, they're situated on the Sudarshan Chakra. Similarly, Kashi is situated on the trident. So then he said, go there and you can ask for money. So there we know that history. Harishchandra, he sold his wife, his son, and he gave 10,000 gold coins. And then finally his son was bitten by a snake, Rohitaswa. And his wife, she brought the dead body of her son inside the cemetery. Harishchandra was working as a guard there for the cemetery to earn some money. And then any person would have to bury their body, the bodies of the family relatives. They'd have to give him some money, entrance fee, and then he'd let them go inside. So then in the middle of the night, Rohitaswa's mother, she brought the body of her dead son in front of Harishchandra. And then Harishchandra, then she was weeping. And Harishchandra said, who are you? And she said, I'm the mother of this dead boy. She didn't address Harishchandra. Then he said, no matter who you are, you have to give something. She said, I have nothing. Then there was like a flash of lightning. Then he saw it was his own son. And then even though he realized it was his own son, still he said, my dharma is that you have to give something. She said, I have nothing, what can I give? So then Bhagavan, Yamraj, they all came and they blessed him. Vishwamitra blessed him. Vishwamitra said, I performed such a test, examination only to show you that such satkarma, such so-called truthfulness is actually mundane. Because you are thinking that this body is me. That I am Harishchandra, that this body is Harishchandra. But what is the truth? Is that you are the soul, the Atma, not this body. So I wanted to teach you this lesson. So therefore I performed this entire thing. So then he brought Rohitaswa back to life. Then he made Harishchandra the king again of his kingdom. And Harishchandra, he was the ancestor of Ram. Ram appeared in Harishchandra's lineage. Then we see also there's one history about Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka. Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka was a very charitable king. He gave everything away. So one day, one pigeon flew into his kingdom. And this pigeon was being chased by a big eagle. So the eagle wanted to eat that pigeon. So then the pigeon came and it sat on the lap of the king, Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka. So then the eagle came and told Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka, the pigeon is mine. It's my food. Give it back to me. And Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka said, no. I have given shelter to this pigeon. Because even the pigeon is my subject. So then the eagle said, then what about my food? And Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka, he said, all right, I'll cut my body, part of my body, I'll measure it on a balancing scale, and the equal amount of weight of my body, which corresponds to the equal weight of the pigeon, you can take. And the eagle agreed. Then he cut a part of his leg, and he put it on the weighing scale. But still, the weight of the pigeon was more. Then he cut his entire leg. But still it was more. Then he cut his entire thigh. But still it was more. Then he cut the right side of his body. Then he cut his left arm, then his right arm. Still it was more. Then finally he himself sat there. He crawled. He crawled and he sat on the weighing scale. Then finally, Dharmaraj appeared, then everyone appeared. So who was that pigeon? That pigeon was Indra itself. And that eagle was Dharmaraj, Yamaraj. So then they told Sibi that we were only testing you to see how charitable you are. Then they blessed him that your glories will be sung far and wide. While even they reminded him that you must know that just by giving in charity, by engaging in satkarma, you will not achieve your ultimate well-being. Then we see Dadichi also now. Dadichi, Indra, when he killed this Vritrasur, when he killed this Brahmin, this Vishwarup, Indra was cursed by this Brahmashap. And then to kill Vritrasur, he needed a thunderbolt made out of Dadiji's bones. So the only way he could get this thunderbolt made was if Dadiji gave his bones to him while he was still alive. This is the only way Indra could make this thunderbolt. So then Indra, he approached Dadiji. And he said, "Oh Rishi, I have one request from you." And he said, "What?" "I need your bones, the bones of your body." And Dadiji said, "Okay, when I die, you can take my bones away." And then he said, "No, I need your bones while you're still alive." He said, and Dadiji said, "What kind of request is this? You want my bones when I'm still alive?" Then he said, "Yes. Only then I can make this thunderbolt and kill the Thrasu." And Dadiji said, "You're so selfish, Indra. You don't care about anyone." And he said, "All right. You bring many cows, you apply gur on my body. Like this gur, this jaggery all over my body." So this gur was applied all over his body. And then all the cows came and they started licking on his body. And licking. What happened? Only bones were left. And he still had life. He still not died. You can imagine how painful it would have been. When all his skin and flesh has been taken away. And then finally from his bones they made this thunderbolt. So you see, even though Dadiji had given such a great thing, but still, is that bhakti? That is the question here. Is it bhakti? No, there's only like sat-karma. Means by performing such pious activities, they'll go to heaven. They'll become the next Indra. And they'll do many nice things, enjoy there with all the apsaras. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, even such kind of karma can cover your bhakti, he's saying, if you're not careful. No, if you're not careful, even such mundane social work can cover your bhakti. No. Like I remember in Bangalore, once some devotees, they opened one school. In Bangalore, they opened a school for poor children. In Bangalore. Like one Maharaj, he went and told Gurudev, "Oh Gurudev, I'm opening a school in Bangalore, like on the outskirts. Poor people, poor children can come and study in this school, this, that." Then Gurudev said, "All right." Gurudev said, "This is like social work." He said, "No, you're opening a school, you're doing all these things, educating children. It's okay, it's all right." He said, "But this is only social work." He said, "How is this bhakti?" He said. He told the sannyasi, "How is it bhakti?" So Gurudev was also very he was saying, you must have this sense of discrimination. No, or else only helping people, doing so many things. Like you see Mother Teresa, she helped, she's known for helping many people. But she fed poor people beef. She fed cow meat to poor people. She fed beef to them. And how is that helping anyway? Like so many others who are considered very generous in this world. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, know the proper difference between karma and bhakti. Or else bhakti will be covered by karma. Then you will think bhakti is also like pious activity. Oh, I'm distributing so much food, so much mamsa, I'm doing this, without knowing the underlying mode of all that. So we'll stop here and after that we will study this Viparit Vastu Bhakti Buddhi Jane Bhakti Abhas. Tomorrow is also Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj's Tirubhakti. It's a very auspicious occasion. So let's stop here. Bhakti-tattva-viveka ki jai. Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki jai. Shri Gurudev Param Gurudev Prabhupada Padukari Guru Mata ki jai. Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Dai Gaur Vrinda Chak